therefore ebe wo nanso so eni ho ehye nipa da sani ebetu akowiem ene onyankropon akotena democracy eyema bibifo anase enyema yen kwasi broni trim popa ene senti a wode vaccination eba abibiman mu na family plan so so mpo no ehye ben ana kwasi broni hye ye ewo krom enti a wode etoa yen eba ne sen ana gay ati atese ewo wiase afana nyinara ene we se illuminati ene we se freemason ene we se sumwe mu ni nyinara ahyase firi he no broni trim po a wode sa nyema we nyinara eba no de atoa abibiman mu no ene sen we entram so hwe wake up Africa kwasi da we ni kwasi da bia awia dumienu ekopem awia no mienu live on Royal TV eya dwumadi a ofa poku danko ye executive director edema free the mind movement ene ofa Israel Nkroma a eye coordinator edema free the mind movement no
ebeka me Michael Asma ho
na yesim konya na madi dwumadi ho chiame na ensem bia tise no ye gina twe kronkron so abakosem ene ntwere ahodo so na ede mo hu ba bia obibini ufiri ene mu a eduro ene soma wo sombo na mabrofo sisi ache ebra so se call together twele kan ye no etumi bam ne no ana hyase o free the mind movement dwumadi e friend say wake up Africa dwumadi so praso say ye fa dwumadi live on Royal TV so kwase da we ni kwase da bia awia dumienu kopim no mienu na ya de wo so adwenche na wasemmisa ye ano e de ma wake up Africa abibiman moma yen sore.
Free the Mind Movement presents Zion Ladies Holy Conference. Ewo Kumase Edum Closer Call. Sadano Jumedie no ebeye bonfrete. Housekeeping eye efiemu asetena ni aduane ye a ebeboa ema ebusua no enyini ache. Nanso kaise apomuden kase ewo efie bia mu. Opare James ebe kasafa ho. Opon yeduara ebe kasafa ho. Organic eye GMO. Ano so aduane die ene die yendi ni nyina ebe koso ewo Edum Kumase ewo Closer Call. Eye Zion Ladies ano mode ba ene die ekeka ho. Kaise sadano eye on the 4th to 6th January 2024. Saupe jumedie mu embisemu ene hwehwemu bia for 020-531-4000 and also say 024-6875-186. A Zion Ladies Holy Conference ewo Kumase a health talk a efiemu asetena a abrabomu sem Mama Africa, James Opare, upon Yeduara, Eric, and when he gets artist. Abaya Bonfrete. Free the Mind Movement presents Zion Ladies Holy Conference. Ewo Kumase Edum Closer Call. Sadano Jumedie no ebeye bonfrete. Housekeeping eye efiemu asetena ni aduane ye a ebeboa ema ebusua no enyini ache. Nanso kaise apomuden kase ewo efie bia mu. Opare James ebe kasafa ho. Opon yeduara ebe kasafa ho. Organic eye GMO. Ano so aduane die ene die yendi ni nyina ebe koso ewo Edum Kumase ewo Closer Call. Eye Zion Ladies ano mode ba ene die ekeka ho. Kaise sadano eye on the 4th to 6th January 2024. Saupe jumedie mu embisemu ene hwehwemu bia for 020-531-4000 and also say 024-6875-186. A Zion Ladies Holy Conference ewo Kumase a health talk a efiemu asetena a abrabomu sem Mama Africa, James Opare, upon Yeduara, Eric, and when he gets artist. Abaya Bonfrete. Free the Mind Movement presents Zion Ladies Holy Conference. Ewo Kumase Edum Closer Call. Sadano Jumedie no ebeye bonfrete. housekeeping ɛyɛ efiemu asetena ni aduane yi a ɛbɛboa ɛma abusua no enyini akyɛ nanso kae sɛ apɔmuden kɛseɛ ɛwɔ efie bia mu ɔpare James ɛbɛkasa afa ho ɔpɔn Yeduara ɛbɛkasa afa ɛho organic ɛyɛ GMO ɛno so aduane die ɛne deɛ yɛn di ne nyinaa ɛbɛkɔ so ɛwɔ edum Kumase ɛwɔ closer call ɛyɛ Zion ladies ɛna ɔmode ba ɛne deɛ ɛkeka ho kae sɛ sada no ɛyɛ on the 4th to 6th January 2024 sɛ wopɛ dwumadie mu mbisɛmu ɛne hwehwɛmu bi a frɛ 020-531-4000 anaso sɛ 024-6875-186 ɛyɛ Zion Ladies Holy Conference ɛwɔ Kumase ɛyɛ Hell Talk ɛyɛ efiemu asetena ɛyɛ abrabomu nsɛm Mama Africa, James Opare, Opon Yeduara, Eric, Omoni guest artist. Ebeye Bonfrete.
Aquano mana via sanyo, aquano mana via sanyo, aquano mana via sanyo, aquano mana via sanyo.
Television. Ejumedi do Kusiribia, Resum, a Wake Up Africa. A brass to say, and then Meno, Yebedi in Como, Na Yatua, Jesuit in Comodian, so found Jesuit order. Don't be we are saying, and your Coswa Moye, oh, we are saying, and home como, and I watch me near the terminal, Yegusua, ye di home como. Na Ubisa say, and that's so dear Bay, and that's so the same Jesuit order in Comodino. You have a trust to send by Ubin Jesuit phone, send by Omoto to Omoniama, na baby Omudi Aviason Echo, maybe almost she will be asking corners, and then you of fire Pokudanqua, I'm a history. To see what twisting, I'm a Jesuit assassinations are costo, a year inquisitions are costo. Sasuna Israel and Chroma, I'm a who said, there can say Jesuit order. Roman more, Mudimo Cotinepa, as I say, a Roman for Namudesa, Jesuit nearby, Senabaya, Omundu, dear, any Omun Sen, someone on Bayo, we are no ever cost, and in Nano, I would take Tremo, you did Huncomo, and also Yabakum, a Kumuye, na Yasansu, Jesuit for baby Omudi, we are soon echo. Abisia, Coswana, Tammy Couture, said the other bro, and then a strong cocra. It did make a chair and say, and then you could see the Abodumi, we are Jumedi. Yes, I see na Yamawa who the Yasun Echo. Na ebi we no na also o tre bibi e to na daachi bi no na se akwanya bi ni ho na se bi a open information bi na wo sanka na when to me a reserve and I say wait to me akọ abaye source na wait to me anya information ni bi akenkan abusia say the tia no dwumedi we to me aka ho bi through our social media handles Wake Up African GH our Facebook so na Wake Up African GH our YouTube wait to me so e do normal SMS and I say WhatsApp message 0504643052 what about any nano back in kind pepe amount now what you questions about any other sort of information about any nano of and I say Israel Kroma at the JB Minna ebe year no send be ya bibia ebe koso pepe amount I was your share Royal TV sir Royal TV there any Wake Up Africa for and yeah general TV no so and I say about TV so you know be din komo afa Jesuit for home and I saw mun komo die sana bia air to kono na mpelefoni nyina ya crowd sɛ na wonnim no edukosi ada sɛ ya na ɛyɛ more fire Israel Nkrumah ɛwɔ ha saso na ɔfa ya Pokudanqua ɔyɛ executive director ɛma freedom man movement ɛso ɛwɔ ha ɛnra school kɔ so pɛpɛpɛ na ɛdi date ne bɛsa aba biem abra anaasɛ time a school no bɛkɔ so biem na mame fa nkɔmɔ wɔ yi ɛma ototo ɔbɛkae sɛ advert bi twa gu TV no so ɛyɛ Zion Ladies Conference ɛwɔ Kumase closer call on the 4th to 6th January 2024 and a Jumedi ever cost. I said, yɛka sɛ Zion ladies a sɛ wonim Zion ladies deɛ anytime bi a member out biara no na wonim sɛ ɔmo de nsɛmpa ɛne nyamapa nkoa ɛna ɛba na Zion ladies no deɛ ɔmo de ba afiwe anaasɛ next year mfa nkyɛn me next year no ɛdu twam koraa twɛ health talk ɛbɛkɔ so saa so na efie mu asetena abrabɔ saa so nnuane a obetumi ayɛ etumi esie gu abusua no saa so na ɔbaa bɛfa so obesiesie ho ma abusua no etumi anya nkwatenten in terms of bibia Zion ladies say me nka nkyɛn sɛ on the 4th to 6th of January and adwumani de mekɔ so ɛyɛ 2024 nti bɔ ho mɔden sɛ bia o pɛsɛ ukɔ bia anasɛ o pɛsɛ wonyɛ mɛma kora mpa ɛmfa ho mom de hia sɛ wobɛkɔ dwumadie no bi na wakɔ tie deɛ wɔ hɔ ebia woyɛ bɛrima o pɛsɛ wogyina ma ɔyere a akonya wɔ hɔ saa so na woyɛ ɔbaa a wobɛtumi agyina ma abusua no na nkɔmmɔdie bi a ɛwɔ hɔ bia no akɔ so pɛpɛpɛ sɛne bɛyɛ a information a wobɛnim no ɛbɛkɔ so sɛ ɛka sɛ health talk a ɛyɛ ɔpare ne ne team and ɔmo kɔ akɔhyia mu wɔ na wonim sɛ ɔpare ne ne team deɛ yɛka sɛ bibiduro kan deɛ a ɛkwan a yɛbɛfa so a yɛbɛtoto yɛn ho yie in terms of vaccines a wagye bi ɛkwan a wɔbɛfa so a wonya bibiduro no bi nonom a yɛbɛtumi abrɛ ase koraa mpa nkɔfa ɔhaw bi saa da no ɛbɛkɔ so ɛwɔ Kumasi closer call on the 4th to 6th of January and a program the because abusua me san be bro biom say ebi adwumadi no kwa wie me san remind you say program no one of the best the course e wo Kumasi nti Zion ladies conference e wo Kumasi abusua de edu no me ne wo na ye beto aso na ye di nkomo say na wotwe mu no ye me hu nyama bebre videos e twa gu TV so any other pictures say they cast some inquisitions and course reading document e dey support yi ni nyina no and so ye ba beto so na wahu the air course e wo wiase na say ye be course wo wiase dia and ye wo branches bebre e wo Ghana and I say nkronkro bebre amebo din e wo branches e wo no de editwom okọ bebi a obenya ye addition yesuo no ha bia obenya bi okọ takwa e wo dada e wo 0244 another 446141 saa so okọ Accra oba Accra here ewe ya eye brother Kumi ene da no eye 0206519335 saa so okọ Oda brother Bosco ni eye Hebrew teacher 0548054368 saa so okọ Siena Mr. Sari ene wo ho 0208205782 saa so okọ Bekwai eye Sefi Bekwai eye bebre na afi se me ka Asante Bekwai eye Sefi Bekwai sam na meka Dr. Nkwanya 0243734847 saa so ko ho Madam Anika ene wo ho 0243321488 saa so oko chebi ya gold ene tare ho 0501857422 oko ho nyina no a ya branches ni bi saa so oko techiman techiman ya brother taste also betumi afro no 0241686600 another 66 we sense to be 02416600 another 66 and kano the beba actually the media cost no na me kano so appeals ebusia be be edu e farm ne wo ye beti ase ase ye bedwedwe ho atere yakundwem na ye tie the eba esanse de ne eba no de edutwem ankasa na medino Michael Asma se na woni mu dwedi no me na medi mu chame na bibia akoso pepepe amen na obezo me makwa ba
Joso
abomu e
na me na otumi
and that's say next year.
Yes, na me na otumi.
Na me na otumi ampa.
Yeah.
Owa. Akwaba. Ibi aboko.
Oh, woko.
Okay, and there I say she abi.
Ha ha.
I say she dey na just say ba beto a edwumedie so. Na wetwe mu no ye Jesuit order nkomodie ya na e to so sene be ya yewie history no afi ye room ama ye hu punishment a wa orders bi on the baby and on for so punishment on the be mount inquisitions be break course so a ye shi bi mu na ye san bi mu na e di bi mu gu rule so ye ru wo mu ni nyina no ye hu se ni nyina no efisa akati we ene bae and so ye ba be to so part 3 of the Jesuit order and semi wo question bi and I say sorry questions we will be answer for next week and I say ye be to so say na esitie it major platform na mo na with me atwa so pepe amai that's
you did a retcha a refuge.
Okay.
and then the questions be anyhow.
Answer. Okay.
Be anyhow, sir.
Okay.
Now last week, me baby read can't say. America. And I be targets. Kasi. And they are Jesuits. And they say. 17th century no na inquisitions ne persecutions e cause wo Europe.
Okay.
And wo France say wo dwane afri ho. To wo so ba to Indians, red Indians you are American. And me can say wo the virus share blankets. Smallpox virus. Infested. And they come Indians is awo anyway na mo fa nko awo we are seeing millions of the Indians were destroyed.
Okay.
Into awo so kotra ho omo kotra ho no enkakra and around the time na Vatican ba be hwiase ko Revelation mo Revelation 13 Vatican Bible Shiasi and no Rebecca.
Okay.
Sabreno and an American so sorry as a rising power. It will be us. And the guy say it will be a tremor here. Revelation 13 11 the kind will be commented by now I will then America prophecy. But we are illiterate. If it's a scripture, I know my weapon. So we are ready. When we see I don't know person the America for bay. Auntie, a coca and a else. I guess I want to do the away. And the Revelation 13,
okay,
verse 11.
Okay.
Hold on. Say. Early part, you see the beast had been wounded in the head. Revelation 13:3. Now about Revelation 13:11, and I saw another beast coming out of the land. And you know now difference a woman previously you can say beast coming out of the sea. Now where there you can say a beast coming out of the land. Actually say there have not been any prior civilization and only the Dikanya AP Abba.
Okay.
Revelation 13.
Revelation chapter 13
verse 11.
Verse 11. Okay. Revelation chapter 13 verse 11. Okay. Revelation 13 verses 11 says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamp, and he speak as a dragon.
Okay. And the two horns, you say small beast, or appear to say a lamp.
Okay.
They will to say dragon.
Okay.
Two horns, and only the two principles are America air rising, Udinas. And some journey from Europe, some journey Roman Inquisition, any persecution. And you go to America and say, I had my idea. You have a teacher you crew in such a way, say, beyond means now will be far with you. Okay. Ubia beti ni asom the oppressor awesome yan tratra home obi no mama hu aye na aye na kan hye and into scripture no two horns of the lamb no okay ejina homa Protestantism okay and republicanism okay Protestantism no ejina homa freedom of religion and republicanism no ejina homa civil liberty. Okay. These were the two principles. America, a so teaching the crew. Now, me pamphlet view of Earth final warning. Okay. A new world order is coming.
Now can had a America in prophecy had no okay. Now about baby okay.
I was your son or boy, you know. Earth final warning. A new world order is coming. And only statement you have. Now you read your page 9, which is the two horns like a lamb well represent the character of our own government, as expressed in its two fundamental principles: republicanism and Protestantism. These principles are the secret of our power and prosperity as a nation. Those who first found an asylum on the shore of America rejoice that they had reached a country free from the arrogant claim of Popery, and then the tyranny of kingly rule. They determined to establish a government upon the broad foundation of civil and religious liberty.
And I know that by Anna, well, Ignatius Loyola, one was among the Jesuits nearby for the counter reformation. And you know, there's war that has been declared on Protestantism. And yet now, America, and the boost to say, nation of freedom. Yet now, and one woman can say, one more choice in what to worship and what to serve as their religion. And you know, the man, Jesuits, say, we have destroyed Protestantism there. The nation of America also. America will now have independence. Two documents. Beer. Anyway, one more they said the war. Back on the Declaration of Independence, 1776. And back also made the Constitution of America, 1787. When I just was said, containing Protestant declarations which must be destroyed.
Okay.
They are going to know. Almost be real. Your book, The Secret Terrorists. Page 6. Okay. To 12. A man can because we need time. A hacker clear. Page 6.
Okay, the secret terrorist, that is page 6. According to McCarthy, the Congress of Vienna formed the Holy Alliance, whose primary goal was the destruction of all popular governments. Popular governments are those where the government allows its subject to enjoy certain inalienable rights. Can you think of any popular government that were established themselves in the world and granting their citizens certain inalienable rights around the year 1815? Question will be
Page 7.
Page 7. Page 7. Okay, page 7. I see the servants of the Holy Alliance had massed large armies and soon entered into the pledge to devote themselves to the suppression of all uprising of the people in favor of free government, and he, the Pope Pius VII, desired to devote the Jesuit support by his pontifical power to the accomplishment of that end. He knew how faithfully they would apply themselves to that work, and hence he counseled them in his decree of restoration to strictly observe the useful advice and salutary counsels whereby Loyola had made absolution. Anayo. Page 7.
Page 7, but
okay. I was watch Royal Television. I'm saying baby, I remember I say and yaho. You ever sign? I go to so top one. Okay. I was going to kind the honor the chairman. I said the attention of our government to it, that is page 9 to page 10, emphasizes added. Senator Owen understood from the Congress of the Vienna that the United Monarchies of Europe would seek to destroy the great American Republic, and its blood brought freedom. Senator Owen was not the only one who knew about this conspiracy against American freedom and the situation and the Constitution. In 1894, R.W. Thompson, American Secretary of the Navy, wrote. Okay.
Page 46.
Okay.
I
was Royal Television. I'm said the secretaries pages now percent making kind and I'm may born a tougher amount. Okay. You go to page 46. Also, when you remember the Council of Vienna, that is the Mataris.
Council of Vienna, no? Explain.
Okay.
And now, this is no by you almost starting woman and your mom. One could share or say, one don't need that governments. Popular governments. Our mom call for freedom, in make cake and home. Woman, a Protestant declarations. Okay, and one and in Kakran, I see a year of money in air flu. You destroy. Self freedom, yes, I will be a Sabbath who us. In the Nunti decision, go taking your council at Vienna, Enna, all kind of was and Kakra. That was so kind of.
I think when you remember the Council of Vienna, that is Metternich, the Pope, and the Jesuit order plans to destroy this country, to destroy its freedom, to destroy the Protestantism, and to kill president. What does that tell you about the evil, vicious, malicious character of the Jesuit? When you remember their attempt on Andrew Jackson, the assassination of William Henry Harrison, the assassination of Zachary Taylor, the attempt assassination of James Buchanan, the attempt assassination of Abraham Lincoln, then the final his assassination. What does that tell you about the Catholic Church? It shows you that they are fact that of being a church is just that a fact that they hide behind a religious mask so that they will not be suspected of many abominations they continually perpetrate in this country and around the world. May God help us to never have anything to do with this satanic organization, Abraham Lincoln stated.
Let us say, into the Omo say, anyway, you do much near infiltrating certain positions of government. You also infiltrating certain levels in society. Then kakran. Yeah, the attack number. I see who say we Saint Bartholomew massacre numa omu kum nipa on mass no. Actually no omu be mu. And we be one else will be hey, we be ya wu you kum no any acquire fast so yeah. And into no be there no mamba. And I am my say Jesuit no who said that we say no dressing. Say no ba. Oba okuru mu a obesu okasa no be kasa. Oso ye the other kasa we bia so we so ye bia. And you know suspicion bia ni ho a Oliver man say we or acted differently, you know. We share no we obey. Yes, I don't know we. To almost the almost be fry. And one kakran. On being positions to enable them do what they wanted to do. And for example, Jesuits, were responsible for the assassinations of Presidents Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. Your first video.
We say the first video, Eddie Kine, that video, you share Inquisition and killings. And only video Eddie Kine, he said, I have crowd of to my Inquisitions and killings. Side crowd of
People have been slaughtered by the Vatican, thus saith the Lord. Revelation 18:20. History bears record to this fact. During the Roman Catholic Inquisition in Europe, 68 million people were tortured, maimed, and murdered by this huge sect. The St. Bartholomew's Day massacre accounted for the butchering of as many as 100,000 Protestants. Abraham Lincoln blamed the papacy for the Civil War in these words: "This war would never have been possible without the sinister and secretive influence of the Jesuits. We owe it to Popery that we now see our land reddened with the blood of her noblest sons." Lincoln added, "I am for liberty of conscience in its noblest, broadest, and highest sense. But I cannot give liberty of conscience to the Pope and to his followers, the Papists, so long as they tell me through their councils, theologians, and canon laws that their conscience orders them to burn my wife, strangle my children, and cut my throat when they find their opportunity." Because of Abraham Lincoln's many exposés of the Vatican, he was put to death, just as he foretold. Yes, assassinated by the Jesuits under Rome's instructions. The Vatican hasn't changed since Mr. Lincoln's time. JFK's fatal mistake. When John F. Kennedy was asked by the Vatican, "Are you going to go along with the Roman canon law or the U.S. Constitution?" Mr. Kennedy answered them by saying, "The U.S. Constitution." This was President Kennedy's fatal mistake. His assassination was ordered by Rome, then planned and carried out by Jesuits, just as President Lincoln's was. Anyone who knew too much about Mr. Kennedy's assassination was taken care of too. World War II, with its casualties of over 30 million deaths, 6 million Jews, the Holocaust, was conjured up and sponsored by the Vatican. Hitler, Mussolini, and Franco were all members of this sect, the Roman Catholic cult. To win the world not for Christ, but for the Vatican, the Antichrist.
The Inquisitions and killings are a course of Abrana, Kawa Samoa, you reading in book Kakaka, the secret terrorists, no, and some woman, Jesuit for no, or Mojuedin, and I say, send you reading or a year book in and in the video Kaka, share, and the actual over.
Abraham Lincoln, American lawyer. The law no soon one court law school and self-taught. I call to the bar. I know dear Sam, that's man who did say in the end. We can Roman softwoods. New friend Charles Jimmy K.
Okay.
On starting say or kasa about and Saria Abduko Roman priest. Oh baby, I know. No state of Illinois, baby, now Abraham Lincoln. No one. Say the kasa ni mu netwi asofo ibebre. enti no bishop no ɔyɛ diocese no ɔmo free mu assembly de to no so sɛ ɛsɛ ɛde no kɔto prison na yɛwie no akɔyɛ ho yira no yɛ bia no ma Abraham Lincoln te sɛ de obiara mpɛ sɛ ɔbɛtwitwa gye me enti sɛ wobɛtumi no so no time neba yasɛm no ba kɔ mkɔtena ase ɔmo gu so ɔmo ka sɛ na obi a key witness bi a plot na nkɔfoɔ no yɛ no ɔte ho bi ɔno ɔbɛma the telling evidence ne twitwa gye akɔɛ the court dem was say na Jesuits for be brave about
ɔmo go sɛ nkan
ɛna asɛm ya go tia wɔ ɔmo wo ebe yiwe flo eti Abraham Lincoln sabra no bo no onyɛ sabe onkura public office bi a bɛka sɛ ɛnu nti ne bi a ya assassinate no ordinary lawyer onam the bed between 1855 and 1856 ɛna obenya atamfo when kidnap no when two grenade into ne saa wo na na di wo mo ko saa dis ne cast ni ho cat and say can na dey when kidnap no when two grenade into all kinds of susu from the bay to all free court to them no so bunu nya ne fa ho di na be osu Kennedy bi say Lincoln bi say e dey asem so fa ho di no edu beko adwem ewo ha ba meta mo tini nkai
aye etwitwa je no
o ya twitwa de on de ni adi bo osu
no say
dia baba ni say una ba be the target
say the time
una fi every time until me many je ni e ho na Abraham Lincoln hu say Jesuit way tata until na me kasa mu bebre no and na Jesuit mu say Jesuit won be me say I said what true challenge yes I accept the challenge me no mbeko 4 years later and after winning elections and obey president of the US and then I said if free Illinois home every circle Washington seat of government let's offer the city of Baltimore and also a Jesuit city but the way they say ahead of time it almost you know almost here now we come kind of that on the maybe I'll be fabia tata so why you know if you somebody here say adding slave you know abolition of slave trade and also a bus I go you didn't say how you do it who's about the country then you be more can say slave trade transatlantic slave trade yeah before and I go do reparation you go say more directing more you need to the wrong place. It was started by the Vatican. Slave trade, Pope Nicholas V, 1452, and I issue paper bull as a decree. And I say, King Afonso, I walk Portugal. Yamani to me, sir, Uncle Caesar and Grandma Fobi, and pagans beer. One more disputed territory in Africa. One more many slaves. That was 1452. 1455. I was I issue another bull. First bull, no brano, doomed Avesas. King Afonso, one of them more to me, who wait me a quack, Sister Sanko Food or one banana. 1455. I was I bet some man, another. Paper bull and I can say Romanus Pontifex. No, and I can say Portugal say Portugal own the right to acquire slaves along the African coasts by force or by trade. You know how when you went into them big ban, you know more copies. You know, I was I can be okay we and 1493, another Pope Alexander VI. One of our chair we asked him, for two devout Roman Catholic nations, Spain and Portugal. My term, Spain, Monko kidnap, Monko Tina, the Americans, Monko colonize na mo explore na mo nya de mbosia yi nyina modia obeka Columbus ni Bartolomé de Diaz mo start ya no mo koba ana kaja Portugal so say also some they already know mo explore African and you know hono ya modia mo nko seize Africans as slaves na mo from Europe and meton as private property. And then it be a quite transatlantic slave trade. Now, Abraham Lincoln also have a cancer abolition of slave trade. Hey, now the TIA be a supreme. Would the jack and every diablo? How they Abraham, what have you say? And no matter we know you like I said, you be kind. Exposing the Jesuits and the papacy.
Okay. So now, exposing the Jesuits and the papacy. Friday, February 26, that is 2016, and by interview with Drake Shelton on slavery. Interview with Drake Shelton by James Rubin. Why did the southern states secede from the Union?
I then almost see a woman from the Civil War, no about so American, and a question beside.
Free the Mind Movement presents Zion Ladies Holy Conference. I will Kumasi a doom closer call. Sadano, Jumediano, a beye bonfrete. Housekeeping, a year a few assetana, ni a diania, a beboa, Emma Ebusiano Eniniache. Naso Kaise, a pomudini cassia, I will if ye be or Paris James, Ebe Casafa, or Pong Yeduara, Ebe Casafa, organic, a year GMO. And also, dear, any DNG, Nina, a becoso, I will a doom, Kumase, I will closer call. A Zion Ladies and a Modiba, any dear Ekekahu, Kaise, Sadano, on the 4th to 6th January 2024. Sau page medium, Embisemu, and if you mubia. For 020-531-4000. And also say 024-6875-186. A Zion Ladies Holy Conference, Kumasi, a Health Talk, a few more sitna, a Abrabomusem. Mama Africa, James Opari, Opon Yeduara, Eric, and one guest artist. A Baya Bonfrete. Free the Mind Movement presents Zion Ladies Holy Conference. I will Kumasi a doom closer call. Sadano, Jumediano, a beye bonfrete. Housekeeping, a year a few more assetana, ni a diania, a beboa, Emma Ebusiano Eniniache. Naso Kaise, a pomudini cassia, I will if ye be or Paris James. Ebe Casafa, or Pong Yeduara, Ebe Casafa, organic, a year GMO. And also, dear, any DNG, Nina, a becoso, I will a doom, Kumase, I will closer call. A Zion Ladies and a Modiba, any dear Ekekahu, Kaise, Sadano, on the 4th to 6th January 2024. Sau page medium, Embisemu, and if you mubia. For 020-531-4000. And also say 024-6875-186. A Zion Ladies Holy Conference, Kumasi, a Health Talk, a few more sitna, a Abrabomusem. Mama Africa, James Opari, Opon Yeduara, Eric, and one guest artist. A Baya Bonfrete. Free the Mind Movement presents Zion Ladies Holy Conference. Ewo Kumase Edum Closer Call. Sadano Jumedieno Ebeye Bonfrete. Housekeeping eye efiemu asetena ni aduane yi a ebeboa ema ebusuanu enyini ache naso kaise apomuden kase ewo efie bia mu opare James ebe kasafa ho opon yeduara ebe kasafa ho organic eye GMO eno so aduane die ene die yendi ni nyina ebe koso ewo edum Kumase ewo Closer Call eye Zion Ladies eno mode ba ene die ekeka ho kaise sadano eye on the 4th to 6th January 2024. Sau pejumedie mu embisemu ene hwehwemu bia for 020-531-4000 and also say 024-6875-186. A Zion Ladies Holy Conference ewo Kumase a health talk a efiemu asetena a abrabomu sem Mama Africa, James Opare, upon Yeduara, Eric, and one guest artist. Ebeye Bonfrete.
Answer on the mind, so say, to preserve slavery and white supremacy without which competition with the northern industrial factories would be impossible. Essentially, they succeed in order to survive. Alexander H. Stevens states in his cornerstone speech. I mean, kindly.
So another question and answer.
And see, Obisa,
I have the series of videos.
Also, why was the slave trade forced onto the South? Obisa answer the mind, and I say the slave trade was forced onto the South. Pursuant to the Jesuit counter information. If you notice, it was precisely during the year of the Jesuit suppression, depression, and then the re-establishment in 1814 that was the largest influx of slaves occurred.
And do you remember the kind? That's the first paragraph. Abraham Lincoln Kasai, date Ben Okai.
Okay, we hear the assassination of Abraham Lincoln by the Jesuit of Rome, Charles Chiniquy, and a Dubai.
Yes, of no, to charge
no. I say Abraham Lincoln, June 8, 1864, if I'm right. Okay. I say
paragraph.
Okay. I say this war would never had been possibly without the sinister influence of the Jesuits. We owe it to the popery that we now see our land rendered with the blood of her noblest son. Though there were great differences of opinion between the South and the North on the questions of slavery, neither Jeff Davis nor any one of the leading men of the confederacy would have dared to attack the North had they not replied on the promises of the Jesuits that under the marks of the democracy, the money and the arm of the Roman Catholic even.
Yes. And Abraham Lincoln. What would you say? This is for no air. And also to do one now. And you do that because you some can say then my became and then we wait me or the Charles Sopuno in an reading Kuma or can be with and go your second video. I was serious when I be
okay, your second video a twaso I will let you me so Abraham Lincoln, lawyer and 16th president of the United States. And any video a twaso me I better say kradwa.
His contribution to freedom and equality in the United States of America. Abraham Lincoln, USA, 1861 to 1865, also known as Honest Abe. He was an American lawyer, a politician, an orator, and a statesman who served as the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln was a self-taught lawyer. He never went to law school but studied law on his own and was called to the bar in 1836 and proved to be one of the successful lawyers in Illinois, USA. He rose to become the Whig Party leader, Illinois state legislator, and U.S. congressman from Illinois. He ran for president in 1860 on the ticket of the Republican Party and won hands down, and pro-slavery elements in the South viewed his election as a threat to slavery, which caused the American Civil War in April 1861. Abraham Lincoln's presidency began in 1861 and was marked by a tumultuous period in American history, the American Civil War. Lincoln led the Union through the American Civil War to defend the nation as a constitutional union and succeeded in defeating the insurgent Confederacy. He abolished slavery, expanded the powers of the federal government, and modernized the U.S. economy. One of Lincoln's key policies was preserving the Union, advocating for a united nation. He implemented economic policies to fund the war, including the issuance of a national paper currency. Lincoln's leadership during the Civil War was a phenomenal achievement. His strategic prowess and ability to navigate the complexities of the conflict were critical. He issued Emancipation Proclamation on 1 January 1863. This executive order declared all slaves in Confederate-held territory to be free, aligning with Lincoln's moral opposition to slavery. Abraham Lincoln's stance on slavery was evolving. While he initially focused on preserving the Union, he recognized the moral imperative of ending slavery. The Emancipation Proclamation was a monumental step towards the abolition of slavery, laying the foundation for the 13th Amendment, which was ratified in 1865, officially outlawing slavery in the United States. Lincoln's commitment to the Union was unwavering. He skillfully navigated political and military challenges to keep the nation intact. His leadership during the Civil War ultimately led to the Union's victory. The Gettysburg Address, delivered on 19th November 1863, eloquently expressed the ideals of democracy and national unity. Lincoln's government faced a financial strain of funding a war. His administration implemented the National Banking Act, laying the foundation for a more stable and uniform currency system in the United States. This move contributed to the long-term stability and growth of the U.S. economy. Abraham Lincoln's legacies endure. He left an indelible mark on American history, not only through his policies and leadership during the American Civil War, but also through his vision for a more inclusive and united nation. Lincoln was assassinated in April 1865 at the age of 56. His assassination solidified his place as a martyr for the cause of freedom and equality, as well as abolishment of slavery in the United States.
That's what me share Abraham Lincoln, lawyer, I am 16th president of the United States. You know, Casamfoni, and I share, you know, and you media will be due our assassination and a year free honor. And on come di, and I mean, yeti na yeti abapasem kakra for United States for 16th president. Across from the theater, some of fire cannon, a better one on 9 cannon, no BB one.
Into a video way. Air say, one is soon alone. One call law school. Okay. As a result, to judge you here. Neniji Eddie Atamfumo abroad. Now, this is you, Omo Yana, Ibinyano, Yano, Akubi, and one year announcement to say. Abraham Lincoln Beko Fourth Theater. I could play via a friend, our American cousin, on in a year in America. Yeah! I've been. Eh! And you ran on McCoy. That's all Anna do know. And we have a friend, John, work his boots. Presidential box no could boot you. Born to a ɛna ohuri fa window no bɛsi stage no so ɔbaa no Latin ɛna ɔkaeɛ na deɛ ɔkaeɛ no aseɛ ne sɛ sei ɛna tyrants no ɔmbɛkɔ ɛfisɛ na ɔno no ɔyɛ pro slavery na wobaa bɛgu slave trade yɛnyɛ dɛn ɛne ɔbɛkɔ na wakɔ na Jesuitfoɔ ɛna ɛbɔhyɛɛ no because ɔmo ɛfa adwene so ɔmo bɛyɛ deɛ ɔmo yɛɛyɛ no maame bi a na ne fie ɛhɔ na asɔfoɔ ne ɛyɛ ɔmo kyerɛ dwɔmbu deɛ ɔnyɛ deɛ ɔnyɛ nyinaa hɔ na ɔkɔsua no nti America ni anka woayɛ deɛ woyɛ na Latin na ɔbɛka ɛno koraa ebie wo to ɛmie hu sɛ ɛnɛ deɛ Latin na woka but bi afa nya asɛm yɛkɔwɛ video no na afei
okay the video toss me I see the 1865 Abraham Lincoln assassination and it's a crowd my 1865 Abraham Lincoln assassination quite fast my
a tragedy occurred that would cast a shadow over the outcome 5 days after the surrender at Appomattox Courthouse. A tragedy occurred that would cast a shadow over the outcome of the war and the process of healing the nation. On April 14th, 1865, it was announced that President Abraham Lincoln would attend the play Our American Cousin at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. John Wilkes Booth, an actor and a Confederate sympathizer, hatched a plot with a small band of conspirators that he believed would bring anarchy to the North and prolong the Civil War. On the night of April 14th, the Lincolns took their seat in the presidential box. During the play, Booth snuck into the presidential box and shot Lincoln in the back of the head with a small caliber pistol. Booth quickly leapt over the balcony and onto the stage below, but broke his leg as he fell. As he fled the theater, Booth turned to the crowd and yelled, "Sic semper tyrannis," which is Latin for, "Thus be it ever to tyrants." Everyone in the crowd was stunned, and no one really knew what had happened until Mary Todd Lincoln screamed. Bleeding and unconscious, President Lincoln was carried to a small house across the street and laid in a bed where he struggled to survive. Around 7 a.m. the next morning, on April 15th, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln died, becoming the first U.S. president to ever be assassinated. Booth and his conspirators went on the run. After an extensive manhunt that lasted several days, John Wilkes Booth was cornered in a barn and shot by federal troops. He died before he could stand trial for killing the president. His co-conspirators were captured and arrested. They were eventually convicted for their role in the plot and were executed. Each of them died, having realized that their plot actually created sympathy for Lincoln and turned them into villains rather than heroes. Why did this event matter? Lincoln's murder changed the course of Reconstruction after the Civil War. Lincoln's assassination definitively changed the course of United States history. President Lincoln became a martyr, even in the defeated Confederate States. Southerners mourned the president and condemned his murder, fearing that Northerners would seek revenge for the assassination by punishing the South during the reunification process. The new president, Andrew Johnson, took charge of Reconstruction. Johnson was a Southerner who was disliked and distrusted by Republicans in Congress. The tug of war over who would control the terms by which the Southern states would be readmitted back into the Union would dominate the Reconstruction era, leaving the Southern states with difficult days ahead. Lincoln's death had robbed the nation of the one man who could best bind up the nation's wounds.
I was saying that say with me and your bread now with me I share Abraham Lincoln a video kakra a kind the 1865 Abraham Lincoln assassination with me and your daje na washe Senate na assassination with me say na ya your na so esiewie sene Abraham Lincoln yi ni free wiase no send video no etie ni over
na ekoba say Kennedy nso he was assassinated and then maybe and only circumstances in different at the air okay but I could say and go for transition say now the Kennedy or Abraham Lincoln was Abraham Lincoln was a baby asiana if said they are two no who by the ready are two Kennedy in Sudiana. Then you might be brave a copper. Empty now, coincidences with me. And types be brave. But when you say a bit of history for you, and I be crowd also. What can explain this? About spectator Ghana happy part. And to so kind in the last video.
I was away Saturday, April 12, 2008, The Spectator and a Divine and I say, what can explain this? I have video I share in a page 3 as some and a year come. I say Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. JF Kennedy was elected to Congress in 1946. Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860. JF Kennedy was elected president in 1960. Both were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both wives lost their children while living in a White House. Both presidents were shot on Friday. Both presidents were shot in the head. Now it gets really weird. Lincoln, a secretary, was named Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln A. Both were assassinated by the Southerners. Both were assassinated. They were succeeded by the Southerners named Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln. Was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was shot. Who succeeded Kennedy was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth. Yeah, John Wilkes Booth. Sorry, who assassinated Lincoln was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald. Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated Kennedy, was born in 1939. Both assassins were known by their 3 names. Both names are composed of 15 letters. Now hang on to your seat. Now hang on to your seat. Lincoln was shot at the theater named the Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car called Lincoln, made by the Ford. Asambeni. Lincoln was shot in a theater, and his assassin ran and hid in a warehouse. Kennedy was shot from the warehouse, and his assassin ran and hid in a theater opposite. Booth and Oswald were assassinated before their trials. And here the kicker. A week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Moron, Maryland. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Maryland Monroe. Hey, now wait, and a bar in. A business what chances say, oh, if you are no more, a twist of. And near myself, person corresponding who said coincidences to be brief or Muntino. Yeah, but I have heard last video. Okay. And also another version of the coincidences now about between Lincoln and Kennedy.
deɛ ɔkenkan ha no wɔn bɛ mu hɔ ebi yɛ skilled na nyɛ ɛnokorɛ wɔn bɛ explain yɛ de wakɔ history mu yɛ akɔ akɔkyerɛ sɛ na esi teɛ nti no yɛn hwɛ no na mi nfa ma mi nsi na yɛ bɛ to aso next week.
Another version of Lincoln Kennedy coincidence. And another version of the Lincoln Kennedy coincidences. And that ye bisano. Tisaya Kradwa. Obisa Moma Yenshe.
Most common Lincoln Kennedy supposed coincidences that I've encountered over the years. Number 1, both Lincoln and JFK were second-born children. This is true, and yeah, a cool little coincidence. Number 2, both suffered from genetic diseases. While true, this one is a less impressive coincidence to me. Number 3, both had drooping eyelids. Yeah, also true, but apparently this is fairly common. Number 4, both were first elected to Congress in years ending in 46. Illinois residents elected Lincoln in 1846, and Massachusetts residents elected Kennedy in 1946. Yes, that's true. Number 5, both presidents were runners-up for the party's nomination for vice president in years ending in 56. This is also true. And another tubular coincidence, Lincoln in 1856 and JFK in 1956. Number 6, both were elected to the presidency in years ending in 60. Lincoln won the presidency in 1860 and JFK in 1960. So yeah, this one was true as well, but less impressive since presidential election years happen only once every 4 years. Number 7, both had the legality of their presidential elections contested. Okay, this is our first misleading one. This one is actually very misleading since you could say this about most elections in American history. Number 8, both married women in their 20s while themselves in their 30s. Okay, well, I think that's a pretty broad statement, but yeah, it was also true. Lincoln was 33 when he married the 23-year-old Mary Todd, and Kennedy was 36 when he married the 24-year-old Jacqueline Bouvier. It'd be more impressive if they were the exact same ages when they got married. Number 9, Lincoln and Kennedy each have 7 letters. Yeah. True. Kind of cool. Number 10, both were particularly concerned with civil rights. I mean, yes, but this one is also misleading. Lincoln and JFK's involvement with civil rights had more to do with the cultural and societal changes during their presidencies than themselves as individuals. That said, Lincoln felt strongly about freeing the slaves, famously issuing the Emancipation Proclamation during the American Civil War, as well as relentlessly pushing for the passage of the 13th Amendment before his death. Kennedy was also the first president to propose what would end up being the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Number 11, both lost a son while living in the White House. This is true. Lincoln lost his 11-year-old son, Willie, while president, and Kennedy lost his infant son, Patrick, while president. As you probably know if you've seen my All the President's Children video, it was much more common for kids to die back in the 1800s, but less so by the 1960s. The age difference also makes this coincidence less impressive. Number 12, both those sons who died had 21 letters in their names, each having 7 letters in the first, middle, and last name. William Wallace Lincoln and Patrick Bouvier Kennedy. Okay, another truly weird coincidence. Number 13, Lincoln's secretary Kennedy warned him not to go to Ford's Theater. Kennedy's secretary Lincoln warned him not to go to Dallas. No. This one is false. JFK did have a secretary named Evelyn Lincoln, but we don't know if she warned him about going to Dallas. Also, Lincoln did not have a secretary named Kennedy. His White House secretaries were named John G. Nicolay and John Hay. Another point to make here is that it's probably a safe assumption that most presidents are warned not to go to places at certain points because presidents often get assassination threats, okay? Number 14, both assassins, John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald, were known by their 3 names. And number 15, and their names were composed of 15 letters. Okay, true and true. Even cooler. Number 16, Booth and Oswald were born in a year ending in 39. Well, this isn't true. John Wilkes Booth was born on May 10th, 1838. Lee Harvey Oswald was born on October 18th, 1939, however. Number 17, Booth and Oswald were both Southerners. Not true either. Booth was a Southern sympathizer, but he was born in Maryland, a Union state. Oswald was born in New Orleans, but also lived in Texas and New York during his childhood. Number 18, a month before Lincoln was assassinated, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A month before Kennedy was assassinated, he was with Marilyn Monroe. No. Marilyn Monroe actually died over a year before Kennedy's assassination. Number 19, Booth ran from the theater and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald ran from a warehouse and was caught in a theater. Here's another misleading one. It depends on how you would define the word warehouse. Oswald did shoot Kennedy from a textbook warehouse and was later arrested in a movie theater. Booth did shoot Lincoln in Ford's theater, but he was caught in something that was more like a barn, not a warehouse. So that one is quite a stretch. Number 20, Booth and Oswald were killed before their trials. I mean, yeah, but this isn't as impressive to me. Plus, Oswald seemed to be deliberately killed by Jack Ruby, whereas Booth was killed in an apparent gunfight after he refused to surrender. Number 21, both Lincoln and JFK died at nearby locations from where they were shot. Yeah, but so what? Number 22, both presidents were shot on a Friday. Yeah, but again, so? The chances that these assassinations occurred on the same day of the week are 1 in 7, after all. Number 23, both were shot in the head. Also, yeah, but so, since the head is one of the most vulnerable parts of the body. The list also never mentions that both presidents were shot at quite different distances, Lincoln close by and Kennedy from hundreds of yards away. Number 24, Lincoln was shot at Ford's theater. Kennedy was shot in a car made by Ford Motor Company, which was a Lincoln limousine. Yeah, that's a pretty neat coincidence, actually. Number 25, both were shot sitting right next to their wives. Yeah, that's another freaky one to me. Number 26, both successors were Southern Democrats. This is true, but it's worth pointing out that since both Lincoln and JFK were Northern presidents, it made sense for them to pick Southerners as running mates in order to help their chances of getting elected. Number 27, both successors had the last name of Johnson. Yes, but Johnson is the second most popular surname in the United States. Number 28, both Andrew Johnson and Lyndon Johnson were born in a year ending in 08. This is also true. Andrew Johnson was born on December 29th, 1808, and Lyndon Johnson was born on August 27th, 1908. Okay, I think that's an impressive coincidence. Number 29, both Andrew Johnson and Lyndon Johnson had first names that contained 6 letters, mostly due to all the other letter coincidences I mentioned earlier. Yeah, this is also a neat coincidence. And number 30, both Andrew Johnson and Lyndon Johnson previously served in the U.S. Senate. It's true, but not impressive since it's not surprising to see a U.S. Senator elevated to the executive branch. In conclusion, of the 30 total supposed coincidences I looked at, 23 of them were true, 3 of them were misleading, and 4 of them were straight up factually incorrect.
Free the Mind Movement presents Zion Ladies Holy Conference. Ewo Kumasi Edum Closer Call. Sadano Jumedieno Ebeye Bonfrete. Housekeeping eye efiemu asetena ni aduane ye a ebeboa ema ebusuanu enyini ache naso kaise apomuden kase ewo efie biemu opare James ebe kasafa ho opon yeduara ebe kasafa ho organic eye GMO eno so aduane die ene die yendi ni nyina ebe koso ewo edum kumase ewo closer call eye Zion Ladies eno modi ba ene die ekeka ho kaise sadano eye on the 4th to 6th January 2024. Saupe Jumediemu Embisemu and Hwehwemu bia for 020-531-4000 and also say 024-6875-186. A Zion Ladies Holy Conference Ewo Kumasi a health talk ɛyɛ efiemu asetena ɛyɛ abrabom nsɛm Mama Africa James Opare Opon Yeduara Eric Omoni guest artist ɛbɛyɛ bonfrete Free the Mind Movement presents Zion Ladies Holy Conference. Ewo Kumase Edum Closer Call. Sadano Jumedie no ebeye bonfrete. Housekeeping eye efiemu asetena ni aduane yi a ebeboa ema ebusua no enyini ache. Nanso kaise apomuden kase ewo efie bia mu. Opare James ebe kasafa ho. Opon Yeduara ebe kasafa ho. Organic eye GMO. Eno so aduane die ene die yenji ni nyina ebe koso ewo edum Kumase ewo Closer Call. Eye Zion Ladies eno mode ba ene die ekeka ho. Kaise sadano eye on the 4th to 6th January 2024. Saupe Jumediemu Embisemu and Hwehwemu bia. For 020-531-4000. And also say 024-6875-186. A Zion Ladies Holy Conference. Ewo Kumase. A health talk. A few more sitna. A abrabom sem. Mama Africa James Opare Opon Yeduara Eric Omoni guest artist ɛbɛyɛ bonfrete
na ye make a comparison of JF Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln. Son of more character is it here, any assassinators, no, son of more character is it here. Yeshini Nano, take it blue, I take it green, and I just say I take it red, is one I just say, in fact, Nano, now for Eka, my young who said, if it is true, yeah, let's confirm with the video, the shared video, no, you reckon on equity and Kano, over there, over Bank, and they say both were assassinated by Jesuits. Okay. Yahu Abraham Lincoln there. Okay. Kwa Jesus for tata no a omo ye so many attempts omo sanka no a omo ti say afidi obeko force theater akwa to play a friend no American cousin. Ah ho eno nkunya no okay omo ewie no na say na mekan no ye be Kennedy die no okay ono no die no body e be lie okay na ya hwe na via ye who say this here but in no ho yamia my next week e be a more serious situation and into the man be see ane okay that's of I see that say with me am I and the history me the way Nyamasi call about Jesuit is I wish you baby I don't know I fine you best wish I call Israel China before say be call Israel China my man tia say your branches be brave e wo Ghana me din kan abobobi ama when branches na e wo Ghana no na e bi so ha me boy ukọ kaswa so e wo brother di call ene da ho 0244 888 ofres anoma no a osabe kano na modin komo efa branches no sa so na ashama brother Opare 0243505969 sa so e ko asami no so a seshi asami no so kasiem brother Benito ene wo ho 0594205795 sa so e ko Kumasi brother Willie 0205314000 and also with me a friend sa so e ko Oboase a brother Dominic 0242543893 sa so e ko Mankesim brother Baba ene wo ho 0543981964 sa so e ko Takradi sister Linda 055-140-0006 sa so e ko enchi so e wo ho enchi se wom say if I'm right brother AJ and so e wo ho 0246988 0162 oyoko ofata eyeko frudia side na yeka wasam no 0244549107 so menya kwakusika na wo 0242177390 saso no oti region brother Sylvester na wo 0241558136 Cape Coast Mr. Gauga Ozo 0249647748 Fantina Kumasi Opinion Anado 0242923241 and also say Achichidie brother and Eja Ano 0553919919614 Sasu Oda brother Bosco ne Hebrew teacher 0548 another 05436 Sasuna Konongo die be the number that to dwa ama ebusia be edu no fa wait me the messages in are aba na messages na me say uguso a oreba platform mo amusi yente na enya domo so Wake Up Africa TV show no mo nkoso amfa mo messages emra na yenkenkan Mr. Samuel Amehia we na we one of the contributor was Koswana messages nebra na yentumi enkenkan ni nyina ma ebusa we me edu so fa ye ko Israel enchen na yeri de oho ebeba na beta mi kuchu na bibia koso kai said on the 4th to 6th of January 2024 Zion Ladies Conference no baso Kumasi closer call sada no ebeye bonfrete health talk fiemu asetena abrabomu sem kwan ebeye eduane papa ana aso se obetumi ama abusuane nyini ache between genetic food no any original na say organic that is GMO any organic there he that say we di abetrase ache na bibia akoso pepepe ebusia ele be koso on the 4th to 6th January Okumasi closer call mbelifo mu ye guest speakers amu ho Mama Africa Mr. Opare upon you do omo na guest speakers ada no so enjom ne asa ebe koso enije obade kunidie a ode ewuro mu nyina no ni nyina be koso Kumasi so person wo friend no no a the normal no ato TV no so anaso mesa bobobium na osaka na wetumi afre na wabisibisa mu enkomo na bibia alfa ebuja TV bi edu no kai se mimi ne be mimi ndi ya ebe ya no oda brother Kumi ba ho oda na mesa bisa no se oda no date ben o se mimi ndi ya saso no Kumasi so mimi ndi Michael so ebeba Kumasi aba abesre omo na bibia so akos pepe jabusia se le tie no mu nyina mu fantoto mu kotodwem na ye ba so live saso na ediko so minim die yem producer papa ba be lande on the be lande dia info no de be ma me later nti me twen no na se bi fufu so ho asanso de tuatua na bibia akos pepe fa ye du no Israel nkroma enchen na ye beko na yakotie nenu asem ende oriba Israel
Marke
Zion Ladies o na ebe bonfrete
mano wo mo ewo kudwumadi o kase o Kumasi di na omudwuma na se otumi ko bia beboa adesua de isi wo insua de nwie
okay
ena onye nimdie so boa nimdie nti obutumi ni chepa obuwa no yoba nimdie oni bi kitchen nimdie ejade nimdie nimdie na so prepare de ba oma na okunu nti eno ena boa se eshemi wotumi akobi we kremoni bawo we dien bawo yo banko ade kona ko tie bi ebe boa o ni bibia ye ton dwa so ena ye papa
okay
so wonu a ena kwa mu de enwo na enwo a edi krampo no ena mo de fra enwo mo krampo no okay
mango dia ya
ana penifo mbanso no penifo a the whole tama ene ashaman the best herbalists
okay
the ka say obinya stroke a omodo de ho say kim obia wo vasana adura bo no bo wo hye
vasana
omo no mo ba no enti no Let me say, Mabana Sama Kobi. Let me to me, Abua. Tinkopon Bois, a man, there are massively, and then Ra. A mammy, Mamma African, Madame Blay. Or me, I defy my school for them. Or me, I defy my boy and a trade.
Okay.
Oh my idea. And I remember this was London.
Okay.
I just say, or do be a movement for a kuna for.
Okay.
No, I'm from Africa.
Okay.
No, or I do be and coupon is a young coupon can I come say.
Okay.
On yet I do be a man be a mukuma woo or me Hebrew for or more. You do a cheat. Until a ban or from Africa. Nothing, you know, I don't know, no other one. You know about London. Say, the couple can come and say, oh, why you know, man, I'm with your mon colano. Until no, and now my was it, and I jump, and know who I had there. Now to be a bagana. It's like here,
yeah, Papa.
A man, you don't want to say, a couple bois. Hobema pa, Hobema. And at the dead down, can of honor. And a drain a month for a year, a kunipa.
Okay.
Hypertension and blood pressure, do me no. Be before no, a bit trap. A man who will put to a minano, or can want some more. It's no, you don't must see, no man, I do papa, because I program will say, oh, Kumasi. Will be a man, so which one could be a come. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We had to near far west.
Mark here. You are so well. As someone, young person, what tunnel? And you can't what I saw them with so. You put it to what journey as you Bible so. And to never be a sipping.
Yeah.
Bonia, it be my year. You can't want some.
Okay.
I say, what America? Wako pia abrofumu na waka slave trade omu japa esan so mpenu fo no mu yes abone no so be say ye beka enti no makia ebi wono mu a na obi nwo ye ka Holy Catholic last week no me ka sem wa say among for ebi mo antiase you can say Paul Asafua Ekuokuo na Paul bibi ya no muka se Roma na ese wo mo no report Roma no Simon Peter no o maguso no o no se wo nyina o o fo ntie ni yie
okay
man kan mama no dress me bo Roman Church dia he was the founder of the Roman Catholic Church
okay
that can happen
okay
yeah Simon Magus
okay
Paul kan wasa Bible no mo to my mother ding so the Catholic Church the same person and to no obi nche me said na sorry no I hear the free bad
okay
what I say
yeah
good this my mother dia and just say you know so see the kind of program we actually say Roman Catholic Church no on the portier the founder no Peter the Roman or some kind of no Simon Magus.
Okay.
Right? Good. Into or no, that is so meaning into no point by no or sign no.
Okay.
No, the Catholic no or the buyer. And she said, okay, so be. If you say, you're Roman, that's a root to know. You say, you're the Encahoa, or boy, or your victim. But you're a victim papa.
Okay.
And I will move. What's on the day young friend of Catholic? ICGC. Royal House Chapel. You're a victim.
Okay.
So say, and so many now link to Vatican, to Roman Catholic Church. And to the market, the mama for who said, the same for now, or a plan to say you sure I don't. I'm going to come as some. South Roman Kingdom, no? Yeah. How I feel if you can't say no. I'm come and penny. ọmọ mbà ní nkọmọ pẹ di a ebe yi wefu wiase ọmọ di bọni ti podium paul ti ase no ọka sẹ bọni ọmọ di no ìwẹsẹ fọ catholic fọ bọni ọmọ di no ẹnfa nkyẹn wọn mo ẹnna esi mẹmọ so ẹdi ekọ history ní ẹ máa manfọ ate so history ewu hia kìí nkọ school nkọ sunya nka Quran ẹ history Bible ẹ history Bangla Gita a history.
Okay.
History about us who yenti and I have for no our animal.
Okay.
Sir, I'm paying for traditions no. Because I maintain it. That's the duty of a king.
Okay.
Into history no a boa papa. And a car no who will be I don't know a fruba. I saw it. Penny Maya. Now it could be a not a man for the ye ka Jesuit.
Jesuit order.
Jesuit order. I said one more, will be, but a different name.
Sir?
Yeah. Or they protected the front of the church.
Okay.
Yeah. At first, only be Oyedepo. Bishop Oyedepo.
Pastor Nidin.
Winners Chapel. Thank you. Kufuor administration. Sabina Jake. Nana Oye Penima Kufuor in terms of foreign aid. And Bishop Adjemain. Now you are colliding more Oyedepo of Nigeria. Now the president number 2 Ghana winners no ano. Until you number 2 Ghana asona no. Na first no. Na you know that no. Important item oti no. And Nigeria, my friend said Bishop Oyedepo, but the Bishop Adjemain, or the buyer. So my Dagana for you now. Into a buyer, no, a risky car, not a cop Nigeria, not a super.
Okay.
That's not Oyedepo or brother Covenant University.
Okay.
Until I'm discussing as a copa. A banner, a washy. Yokophobia, only a master. I'm crazy, Cano, and the Nigeria, Ghana government, no, only winning the mafia. I don't know if I'm mafia.
Baby, and I get a bit.
Sure. The master money who the pastor said, a sample for train. That's what I want. I heard the apostle. That's what Taddy for the court, what one till the Moye. I said, be our pastor, be as something for entry every Sunday, piano, before the train. That could you see, Addy, you and us. Who says, sign out, what else some fee? I'm sorry. Sure. And see, Honor Penna, Ajimabaya, who said, oh, again, and me, to scar air core Nigeria. Girl, I'm putting to a mile a certain moon. So maybe you school in Jumania, only school of Wakano, the real way. To buy also by your plan within the church. Within the church. I said, I got a probably into an open for the CI. Say, Sky, if you have Kono, I know what the name. A bank continues can be. I in the school. The Konya Jumania. So, what are you going to do? Into more planning for sanity, Sikano, on for the uncle, on the Chimney and San, Nam the Bacon, SCRC, on the Puntujuma, Ama Sodono. Okay. That is one mistake of Ajimai. No, the put here. And I say, Ajimai, on free, I said, no man back to Nigeria. We will be cutting says, or bar, the Bukuno. I said, no. Winners Church, and a chapel. Winners Chapel.
Winners Chapel.
If Nigeria no, I can hear or you're close to. All the photo, I found Fonso. Remember, Oga, don't come. If you come, you're gonna die. Mafia. Tell them gonna be what? Maybe.
Your mama, me a phone call.
Maybe. And you, or two of them, I said no, uncle. And no, I said, put phone share. Say that about. And I'm going to say that I'm going to see. Sabiano, not Kufuor administration, from my president. Not Oyedepo as my mafias, Mama Landu Ghana.
Da.
na hotel na me mo na din hotel ka say me song aka say ya o mo che ho fai because of one person yeah asor mai asor mo hu tie ni mun nim there asor no e ba ye onu so otum osun nyame otonyom de beji wudi na ye we di nku di mama ye ogbama okumo
aduwa na be yo jama na ye kanu aduwa na be
ya papa asor pen for train me my so for pen and no man na ka tell you no they can have you about it to look say we share asọdụma no mu abantire wo mu a obese onya interest ọla mmese no mu no mpamo no the mo mafia no ova na ka kire yen obo bie asọdụma na ni tumu tu ani sa no so mfa bi share no na fo mpamo no fa asọdụma so for oba entrap no te pagimio Never ban trap no. Yan pam nfi aso no mu. Te enema akoso aso no mu na aso no mu no problem no. They are watching the program. They will defend because they don't know. Nka omu ngo pon bi omani a no mu hu de akoso aso no mu a be a hosam. Enti on ba no ena mu say omo hwe Bishop Ajimaya omo hu no no pese buku no enti ha pena ebeye Ghana government against Nigeria government have no Obasanjo no Nigeria into to delegate from government from alata no panic for be share ye na frɛ Bishop Ajimaya no we go say ye omo hu ye ramon ba ye omo trance no mo say either say be free asonu e be asonu bi radio there ama no na ye compensate no na say hwene ya ne nkwa e bebo no to mo fra Ajinasare ono betra mu say Ajimai ne mo sika na fi asonu mu na kwato de na sika nya kwan nkoso a enko Nigeria anya saa emwo biara Nigeria government bogana no e be cancel. That's the power of the church. It's a mafia somebody no almost call back. And I my society there I saw no wajai. Tell wajai. Into no on a simple phone in our plan. Also I resign. No me change as no do. I saw this kind of phone. You say jai. I no cramp I don't know I could see you. Because mafias no maybe animal holy mafias I saw no but I saw more fair canon and say be a woman call e bu have be TB Joshua don't say mafias no be na me say wo ka say TB Joshua bi adam no so o eliminate you until na woman fonko e wo na wo ba de but I saw be no ano afafa bi the year Juma up to dates. Roman 4 from the buyer, matters of 4, LOB, Pentecost, LOB. We are blunt here, we are so the moon. So we are influential, number for no, never home. Because we be bigger than here, we never home. Because we are your woman, something ya, you better finish show. I saw the CBA, a quadrant CBA. Now we hope papa when you to Jesuits
yes
a Roman 4 in a friend sir I saw the Benoit or different way from dear
okay
and to say your castle Roman for some more may so dear want to war because what dear no on your bonny be on your influencer on your baby I affect us I don't know do you free do you free like Jesuit your homophobia and they come as Bible now the end they are so powerful to a sense we are penning That's a Jimmy Omokum.
In their order.
No. But here, one man church, Bishop Odepu, and the Quampono, a bear crash against Ghana, Nigeria. A bear crash. The people flew out about only 15 mafias to kill one person, a pastor called Bishop Ajamai, son George Ajamai. I didn't see how one must cannot stop us coming to me in Nigeria. Say benefit Bukuno. Now the lucky of Ajamai said, "Oh no, good friend there now what or they put the camp inside of friend said, "Alamfo, they won't come and kill you, Oga. If I run, don't come. If you come, we're gonna die." Yeah. And so I mean, look what so you could see. And you know, so Obi to say you can't assume that's something that can if a Roman who would the inside the cost. Yeah. Before the probably Jesuit to know, we look at the rule before I say a more about Ghana the bin animal. Yeah. Very graphic. The true Jesuit Ghana for me.
Hey, as someone will say, we're daily graphic 16 July 2001. I said 3 Jesuit priests ordained in Accra.
Accra, Ghana. Okay, they are everywhere, protecting the Pope and the Church. They are everywhere. And you know, and just say, I'm going to
okay, we yes, I see daily graphic 16 July 2021. Sorry, 3 Jesuit priests ordained in Accra. I see the Metropolitan Archbishop of Accra, Most Reverend John Bonaventure. Yeah, Bonaventure Kofi. Bonaventure Kofi on July 10 ordained 3 young Jesuit priests into the Catholic Society of Jesus.
What?
The ordination of the new Jesuit, which took place at the St. Ignatius of Loyola Catholic Church, it is the first to be carried out in the country by the Catholic Church and also coincides with the ignition's year.
One more I'm say, you can't have just had a bill and say no, but we prove them wrong.
Okay. There's a will be a
bit to saying, or Jesuits. Only up I don't want to say, no, who say, the catch a plane. That's a Obi, I'm Jesuit. I didn't say, or swear oath. Or do a Jesuit or swear oath. Oath. Now, oath, you know, don't be me. Send a Jesuit order.
Okay.
No. I can't say no.
Obviously, I said I usually can or Jesuit order oath, no, and maybe can amount. Now,
if you read a book, book
in the
Free the Mind Movement presents Zion Ladies Holy Conference. Ewo Kumase Edum Closer Call. Sadano Jumedieno Ebeye Bonfrete. Housekeeping eye efiemu asetena ni aduane ye a ebeboa ema ebusuano enyini ache nanso kaise apomuden kase ewo efie biemu opare James ebe kasafa ho opon yeduara ebe kasafa ho organic eye GMO eno so aduane die ene die yendi nyina ebe koso ewo edum Kumase ewo Closer Call eye Zion Ladies eno mode ba ene die ekeka ho kaise sadano eye on the 4th to 6th January 2024. Saupe Jumediemu Embisemu and Hwehwemu bia for 020-531-4000 and also say 024-6875-186. A Zion Ladies Holy Conference ewo Kumase a health talk a few more sitna a abrabomu sem Mama Africa, James Opare, upon Yeduara Eric, and when it gets artist. Ebaya Bonfrete. Free the Mind Movement presents Zion Ladies Holy Conference. Ewo Kumase Edum Closer Call. Sadan Jumedieno Ebeye Bonfrete. Housekeeping eye efiemu asetena ni aduane ye a ebeboa ema ebusuano enyini ache nanso kaise apomuden kase ewo efie biemu Opare James ebe kasafa ho opon Yeduara ebe kasafa ho organic eye GMO eno so aduane die ene die yendi ni nyina ebe koso ewo Edum Kumase ewo Closer Call eye Zion Ladies eno modi ba ene die ekeka ho kaise sadano eye on the 4th to 6th January 2024. Saupe Jumediemu Embisemu and Hwehwemu bia for 020-531-4000 and also say 024-6875-186. A Zion Ladies Holy Conference ewo Kumase a health talk a few more sitna a abrabomu sem Mama Africa, James Opare, upon Yeduara Eric, and when it gets artist. Ebaya Bonfrete.
Jesuits are the military religious order of the Roman Catholic Church. And you could be at Wake Up Africa show for when I move books in TBN to make you the be a director. It's a kind
so Obi Obi so Osaya and for Osai Oswa Ota and some Okani.
Oh, Jesuit order.
Yeah.
The extreme.
I feel a number of them say, Ghana say, Ibua,
okay.
Into Okasa. If you so much, you go to me see. Who I said them more. Remember, I told the chair.
The extreme oaths of the Jesuits. I.
Michael Asma for the show.
Papa, me Jesuit in you.
What shall I be?
Michael Asma.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, in the presence of Almighty God, the blessed Virgin Mary, and the blessed Michael, the Archangel, the blessed Saint John, the Baptist, the holy apostles, Saint Peter and Saint Paul, and all the saints and scare host of heaven, and to you, my ghostly father, the superior general of the Society of Jesus.
What's it? No? The way superior father of what?
Superior father. And I mean, kind of okay, my main kind of supporting. I said,
of Society of Jesus.
I say, the ordination of the new Jesuit, which took place at the St. Ignatius of Loyola Catholic Church, is the first to carry out in the country by the Catholic Church and coincide in the Ignatius year. Okay, I see the Metropolitan Archbishop of Accra, Most Reverend John Bonaventure Kofi, on July 10th ordained 3 young Jesuit priests into the Catholic Society of Jesus.
That's it. Society of what?
Jesus.
Come on,
and they are also. I say I
support them.
Okay. I say the Superior General of the Society of Jesus.
That's it.
Okay.
Outside Shia. And see what happened. Ghana say, Omoha, Ahofi.
Founded by Saint Ignatius Loyola. In the pontificate of Paul and the third and the rod of Jesus Christ. And pontificate of and the pontificate of Paul the third and continue the present, do by the womb of the Virgin, the Matrix of God, and the rod of Jesus Christ, declared and answer that His Holiness the Pope is Christ.
What's it?
Vice Regent and is the true and the only head of the Catholic or Universal Church throughout the earth.
Osai no. I am say Osai.
Yeah.
Or swear oath no.
Yes. Misai, some yana misai.
Jesus Christ no. Ono no mo Pope no ho no mo. E wi ase nyina. Osai no. To defend Christ no, to defend Pope. Right.
And by that by virtue of the keys of binding and losing given to His Holiness.
What it? Safuano, otumi bie, otumi tum, eye Pope no. Otumi otumi mie, bi so bindu tum.
Okay. By my Savior, Jesus Christ, He had power to dispose heretical kings, princes, states, commonwealth, and governments.
No. I don't think Anna just before them, oh my parents with Jimia, they have to kill you. But they almost defend the Pope.
Okay.
Oh, I heard it. There, I'm for them,
Popes and kings.
Pope and kings.
Yeah. Or Pope versus king.
That's a part of their swallowing of oath. You say, I sorry you. See for Munti.
Okay. Yet was all being illegal without his scared confirmation, and that they may safely be destroyed. Therefore, to the utmost of my power, I shall and will defend this doctrine of His Holiness, right and custom against all usurpers of the heretical or the Protestant authority wherever.
Thank you.
Especially the Lutherans of Germany, Holland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and the now pretended authority and the churches of England and Scotland and branches of the same now established in Ireland and on the continent of America and elsewhere, and all adherent in regard that they be observed and heretical, opposing the scare mother church of Rome. I do now renounce and disown any allegiance as due to any heretical king, prince or state named Protestant or liberal, or obedience to any of the law, magistrate or offices.
Thank you.
I'm to ask you.
Time until oh, and before we go back on to say Jesuit priest within a Juma. Yes. And tomorrow, baby, be a Ghana has say, you put some more. Maybe be schools. Until now, they almost be sure say, I did a way, be Catholic. Tell the target, we are not target. Yes.
Yeah.
Until now, if you do yes, I saw Cano, which says I don't know about so. The thing I'm small. Oh, our home. Good. Yeah. The first will be France.
Comme ça.
Yeah, comme ça. France for. And now, or more or Henry. The market, I will hope. The moment the man among folk who say, young son, a young and among for the man who know. It is a part of home to ma. Actually, say, oh, young couple. Oh, yeah, I saw that as I see a phone. The way I miss no, listen, no, and this how you can't a Hindi, I say. When my Hindi, I used to time, no one never seen that, no, and they come as some children. I come that's why I'm in putting for almost 2 million. We are son. Your friend, Urano, or your Henry, our France, Michael, blah. Now, I saw no.
Okay.
And you know, or you're against the Catholic Church. Fan heretical. Where the two no.
I was saying I can't feed the small screen. Senator, we name that down. Page 14. There is a teaching within the Roman Catholic structure called the temporal power. Temporal power means that the Pope should control every person on the face of this globe.
Kemoni Okahubi. Tusoni Okahubi. Oko Asodibia Okahubi. June Okahubi. Ohena Okahubi. Adibo Yasibia no. Pope no in the control. Utimia. Mental of fear that said, yeah, maybe on control me or control.
Okay, yeah, to ask you.
And until then I say, Lawrence or Cornhall or Sway.
Okay.
Kufo or Cornhall. Mahama or Cornhall. At a miss them say one chair or the figure I say. A Kufado, Wako.
I see.
Oh, for no, a open for no. 2-4, Wako. And now woman didn't tell Moko. Yeah, you're gonna phone on. I could offer for no more. When say, and maybe the other more, or hear more. Hey, I said, me call Romo. Vatican, I'm quite the smart to me. I'm about my way. I saw. It's one more or teacher. And I could follow the Sonia room and then I'll call Pope in chain. Or 2 for the Anglican, the other Pope in chain. Who has a son more? That's a law. That was so, Oko.
That bands
Ecochiano, upon my bow, will be more aquana. Now I said, component, condensing, we are, go groom. Monsieur come. Not a bacano, why not? Tabai. Yes, no. Two may be a control, I say. Two may be control, I say. Temporal power, conference.
I was there to us to send a kind of. I see Pope a control BBA, a control assassin away. Their property, their religion, the Jesuits are pushing for this temporal power, which means a worldwide dictator. They believe this is the only way to go, and those who oppose them are the enemies of the gospel.
Thank you. Who oppose them are the enemies of the gospel.
Okay.
Time into no. This information, you are my brother.
Where also here twice
the fellow Bartholomew massacre.
Yeah, Bartholomew massacre.
Obi okoro ma no e ma de kro. Bartholomew massacre. Ekum wo ekum. So ekum wo ekum.
Yeah, twice on August 22nd, 1572. The bloody Saint Bartholomew massacre began. This was to be one fatal blow to destroy the Protestant movement in France. The King of France had cleverly arranged a marriage between his sister and admirer clergy. Clergy.
Ohino odinu ba edema soje ni kese pa a soje ni no na odi Protestant enum against the Catholic.
Okay. The chief
Awale.
Okay.
Thank you.
The chief Protestant leader. There was a great feast with much celebrating.
So, the King of France, no, odinu ba ama soje ni pani Awale amutu nyina no a time Roman Catholic Church. And on my 4 days, a bit young month for the was or million Awale into Princess in Awale into the whole France and a bit young the GME.
After 4 days of feasting, the soldiers were given a signal at the 12 o'clock midnight.
That night 4 days. The information from Rome, Vatican, Cardinals, Vatican for Jesuit for no, landed at that.
All the houses of the Protestants in the city were forced open at once. Now was killed, his body thrown out of a window into the street where his head. Where his head was cut off and sent to the Pope. They also cut off his arms.
You try to say, the Bama now, and the other man, you try. And private, you try. Pope, I don't know. And then some no, they are back. The short neck home, they are back. We know Jimmy Sano. It is what is a Pope or the Yedden. That is called the church for you. We don't come, there's a million cut. There's a million cut. I saw the boy, it's a million cut. Into tomorrow, no, Naji, chamber. I saw being for someone jail. What I will be meeting upon Madra. Hey, brother.
And dragged him through the streets for 3 days until they finally hung his body by the hill outside the city. They also slaughtered many other well-known Protestants in the first 3 days. Over 10,000 were killed. The bodies were thrown into the river and blood ran through the street into.
I don't say, over 10,000 Akarankwa. So because I didn't try woman for any day and from my poop. You know, in the power of 10,000, over 10,000. The criminal now can come see in sooner than what the Gumono, in sooner a mother.
The river until it appeared like a stream of blood, so fiercely was their hellish rage that they before even if Catholic have Jesuit, how much more do Obinim and Ebenezer have? Obisi question Obi Sanono. Enti Obisa, you so call a driver so baby Africa. Wake Up Africa Jumedi.
Hello?
Hello, Pacho Metonka, we deal with
Free the Mind Movement presents Zion Ladies Holy Conference. I will Kumasi Edum Closer Call. Sadano, Jumediano, Ebeye Bonfrete. Housekeeping, a year, a few more assets, ni Edian here, Ebeboa, Emma Ebusiano, and Yiniache. Naso Kaise, Apomudini Cassia, I will a few BM, or Paris James, Ebe Casafa, or Pong Yeduara, Ebe Casafa, and home. Organic, a year GMO.
What did you say?
Pound me hoye pa
na uba auto there
me be dija
first
me de Christy
ma Christy apomudi na ekose
ejina so pa
na metumu
se wa hwe se me to me to mi no mama ba kwa kan wa ke se ejina so